Tonight on Joy News Prime, Ghana Tourism Authority, Parliament and other institutions announced measures to keep coronavirus in check after government announced the allocation of the cedi equivalent of $100 million as part of the country's preparedness and response to the disease.
We are asking that at every public area in a establishment, there has to be an open display of the messages, and these are messages that we have printed and they have to paste out there.
Out there at the bus terminals where most members of the public commute, managers are appealing for help.
The government or the municipal assembly that control here, or the MP or the assemblyman, supposed to come educate us more, because we are many people here. Now, what will you do? We don't know anything about it.
Elsewhere, doctors at the Kolibu Teaching Hospital are worried at the alarming number of young people presenting with kidney ailment. The Education Minister describes as unmatched in the 63 years since Ghana became independent the interventions made by the Kufuor-led administration in the area of education.
If it's to do with the curriculum, the teacher curriculum and the pupil curriculum are now world class.
In business,
Association of Oil Marketing Companies refuses to reduce prices of petroleum products drastically at the pumps.
If you don't take care, tomorrow when the price goes up, what are you going to do? That's why sometimes if you watch the prices, at some point it stabilizes. Even though the oil price might be going up, we don't even increase it.
Ahead in business, we have an interview with an economist.
we also bring you the launch of election headquarters for the 2020 election.
We'll scrutinize the candidate inside out and tell you what we believe the candidate's chances are.
I'm Israel Lion. Joy News Prime comes to you live from the Joy News studio at Kokomilimi here in Accra with digital address GA 0992539, where we're celebrating 25 years of fearless journalism in the defense of Ghana's freedom and justice. Stay tuned in. The Ghana Tourism Authority has directed all operators in the tourism and hospitality industry across the country to immediately start screening all guests before giving them access to their facilities. This is one of several measures put in place by the authority to ensure the industry is well protected against the deadly coronavirus. At a meeting with industry players Thursday, Chief Executive Officer Kwesi Ajimang said although the sector is reeling from the outbreak, there is the need to ensure operators can go about their business without fear and panic. It comes less than 24 hours after President Kufuor announced a $100 million package to keep the disease at bay. Efwa Evans-Chimri reports.
The World Health Organization has declared the coronavirus outbreak a pandemic as Italy tightened its quarantine and the U.S. imposed a ban on flights from Europe. More than 126,000 have been infected globally, according to the WHO. Of this number, over 68,000 have recovered. A number of institutions have put in place precautionary measures against the disease. One of such institutions is the Ghana Tourism Authority. Its Chief Executive Officer, Kwesi Ajimang, wants all companies in the tourism and hospitality industry to ensure everyone is very well protected.
We are telling our operators not to be scared, but just to take care. So the tagline is, don't be scared, just take care. And we are asking that at every public area in a establishment, there has to be an open display of the messages, and these are messages that we have printed and they have to paste out there. One, avoiding handshakes, the various precautionary measures that the Ghana Health Service has advised. Two, we're asking all hotels to ensure that in the hotel rooms, these messages are boldly displayed and there are sanitizers and other washing equipment that is available for people to wash their hands and avoid the handshakes. Also, in the area of the restaurants and the kitchen, they have to wear the protective gear. That will ensure that at least if even somebody has a symptom that is closer to coronavirus, they are properly monitored, and so we've asked that we get the testing guns, that we call them, to test their temperatures, and people with high temperatures are then isolated and then asked to liaise with the Ghana Health Service on that. We're also looking at general staff health. We know that per the regulations that we have, staff have to have a certain health certification by the various assemblies. And this time we are going to enforce that because they are the frontline people and they have to ensure. And by and large, we also here to keep the industry upbeat that we are very, very confident in the measures that central government have put in place. We are very confident that thus far we haven't had any incident, and we are very assured of the readiness of the country to deal with the situation as we go forward.
Adnan Yusil is general manager at the Movenpick Ambassador Hotel. He mentions some of the challenges they face as an industry.
So since the pandemic disease started to spread all around Europe, we start to receive a lot of cancellations, especially from global institutions, international companies. Actually, we're supposed to have IMF, World Bank meetings, some UNDP meetings, and some United States related meetings as well. They're all suddenly canceled. So we received thousands of room nights cancellations for March, April, and May, which accumulated to actually hundreds of thousands US dollars, which affected us dramatically. So now we are trying to take some precautions. Of course, we are an international company as a Movenpick. We are part of Accor. So we submit a lot of reports on how to reduce costs, how to hold on to our revenue. So now actually we try to minimize our costs.
Inspectors have been deployed to the various industries to ensure operators adhere to rules and regulations.
Well, the news team visited some of the facilities to find out what was in place.
We have placed hand sanitizers at the front of the hotel. That's the entrance when you are coming in. The restaurants, we have one also at the reception area, and we have some at the gym. So we are actually...
There are sanitizers, hand sanitizers all over, in the rooms, everywhere.
Yes.
So let's talk about this. Where are you going to stick these ones?
So this one, we are going to stick some at the security checkpoint for the staff when they are clocking in, so that they can be reading and be aware of what to do when they are on duty. And also we'll place some also over there. Whilst guests are coming in, they can also be reading what they have to do to prevent coronavirus.
You know, we all don't speak English. What about those who speak other languages? How are they going to get to know about this?
We have people at the security checkpoint, and they can educate them. That is, if they get there and they read and they are not able to understand. But then if you look at the signage, you could see that, you know, this is something so easy that everybody could read. There is cross, that is don't do, and this is okay, meaning that you can wash your hands and all that. So the green one...
Without necessarily reading, you can tell. We're at the gym at the Alisa Hotel, and Yvonne is here to tell us what you have to do before you can enter the gym. So before you get into the gym, you have to sanitize.
Sanitizer to sanitize your hands. And then after that, you open the door. This has been cleaned already with the alcohol.
Okay.
Today going, we will put the stickers there so that you clean as you go with the sanitizers. Okay. Internally also, when you finish cleaning it, because of the safety of our customers, we will also do the alcohol cleaning to make sure that the treadmill is safe for them to use. Yes.
Okay. So apart from the treadmills, you're going to do the same with the other machines as well?
We are using alcohol to clean all the machines at the gym. So as and when they finish using it, we come back and then do the cleaning for this ones. Because this one, you don't normally sweat like the treadmill. So we do this ones for them.
I think it's a good idea on the part of the GTA. And we've also spoken about the coronavirus and its effects on the hotel business. I think we have also taken up some measures for the hotel and the guests incoming and in-house as well. Currently, we've taken up a measure that all staff will be given gloves and nose masks. Like you see, I have my glove here. There are two, and each staff has also been given, sanitizers as well. So we're taking up that measure, but we hope Ghanaians don't witness anything like coronavirus, because it's a pandemic which is currently affecting most countries.
Do you check visitors who come in
Not really. Currently, we don't screen them, but we have a facility which is Impact Clinic. So if we notice any of their symptoms, we quickly take them there, and it's been catered for.
My colleague Maxwell Agbagba joined public transport to observe how people are adhering to the education on the virus that has gone out so far.
I'm currently in a vehicle from the Circle Terminal heading to Russia, a place in Dansuman called Russia. And now here in this structure, this commercial vehicle, popularly known as structure, what I've observed is that there's nothing like personal space. There's no way you can avoid the next person, sitting to you. President Akufo-Addo yesterday in his address to the nation on COVID-19 advised us to, as much as possible, try and create, some space. We should try and reduce, personal, contacts. In fact, doctors have actually advised that one of the ways to stay away or to be safe from the coronavirus is to avoid crowded places and contacts with people. But here in the trotro, there's nothing like personal space, I tell you. Even here, as I said here, I try as much as possible to avoid a large, but I cannot avoid him.
So the advice I'll give to them is, when you enter into a trust key, you should be careful. Careful in a way that someone who is coughing, someone might be sneezing, you might not know if the person is infected or not, because at that moment it doesn't show, the signs and symptoms doesn't show at that moment. So when you come into contact with someone who is coughing, sneezing, at least I think when you have an handkerchief or something, when you are direct to the person, the best way to do is when you have an handkerchief, you just pick it up. Someone coughing, someone sneezing, so that at least you cover your nose like this, so that when a person is coughing, it will not come into contact with you. And I think the best way to is most of them should carry hand sanitizers along when they are going to work or anything, so that once a while they just drop some and then just rub it on their hands.
Just sitting here, the mate just coughed right now, and I don't know whether I should run out of the car or not.
Serious, and this I already
well, what he's saying is that we need to take our prayers seriously. We need to pray against the outbreak of coronavirus here in Ghana, because we do not know how these infections, come about.
Some people, they are just stubborn. They don't follow the rules, because when you tell them to wash their hands or use sanitizer, they think, oh, after all, Ghana germs, African germs are friendly. Yeah. So some people, they just do but we just thank God that we are all safe, because some of the things that we do, in case that virus should strike right now, I think it will be very, very bad.
Now, Maxwell Agbagba also spoke with the vice chairman of the donor branch of the GPRTU, Alhaji Isa Mohammed, who says they are helpless and want government to assist them with sanitizers and education.
We didn't, this epidemic, we hear that the epidemic now is in Togo.
And other neighboring countries.
Other neighboring countries. But you see, we didn't hear about the media. The media is supposed to talk more, but we can do our effort here. Okay. But let's take it, God forbid, let's take it when somebody have the virus here. What will you do? What we will do with advice or with experience we have here? We can't do anything.
You can't do anything?
We can't do anything, we don't know. But we hear that they said we should find sanitizer. Some of people say we should find, when you get soap and this thing.
But you seem helpless, but have you not thought about, maybe putting bowls of water here so that for passengers who would board, the vehicles that are parked here, they'll wash, you insist on proper hand washing before they get onto the vehicles? Is there not a suggestion you are considering or anything?
Oh, that one is good. Now you are advising us. You understand? That's why we are saying that the government or the municipal assembly that control here, or the MP or the assemblyman, supposed to come educate us more, because we are many people here. Now, what will you do? We don't know anything about it.
The University of Cape Coast has banned all international conferences on campus as part of measures to tackle any threat of coronavirus there. This follows a declaration of the outbreak as a pandemic by the World Health Organization. Here's a report by Richard Kudunyako.
The university is an international institution, so we have international partners visiting us every now and then. So one of the decisions we have taken is that we are suspending all international conferences that we are supposed to host until further notice. And until further notice means until the Ministry of Health advises us that it is safe for us to host travelers who are coming from elsewhere. So we are suspending all international conferences. We are also suspending all international travels for our own staff. There are staff who are supposed to attend conferences elsewhere, seminars, workshops. For some of them, we have even issued tickets. We have booked accommodation, but we have to suspend them.
Now, temperature monitors will soon be installed in Parliament to screen MPs and visitors for COVID-19 symptoms. Speaker Professor Michael Quay, who announced a number of measures on Thursday morning aimed at protecting the staff, charged the clerk to provide the monitors after it was suggested by Minority Chief Whip Muntaka Mubarak. He urged MPs to avoid shaking hands and take seriously the measures put in place.
I suggest, if it is possible, your office could take these additional measures. The temperature recorder, because of the number of visitors that we receive in this house, if it could be possible for it to be used at the vantage entry to check the temperature of people who are visiting us. Mr. Speaker, I believe that this could even be done to members too. I mean, if every morning we come, as we prepare to enter the chamber, our temperatures are checked, so that at least we'll avoid a situation where infection could be spreading within the chamber premise system.
So we're just about taking a break here on Joy News Prime, but here on Joy News Prime we decided that we should continue the education. So each time we have a story on COVID-19, we're going to tell you what you're supposed to do, the do's and don'ts. So we're taking this from the WHO. It says, is wearing rubber gloves while out in public effective in preventing the new coronavirus infection? And this came up when we're interacting with one of the hotel staff, a member of the hotel staff. It says, no. Regularly washing your bare hands offers more protection against catching COVID-19 than wearing rubber gloves. You can still pick up the contamination on rubber gloves. If you then touch your face, the contamination goes from your glove to your face and can infect you. Now, how should I greet another person to avoid catching the new coronavirus? This one, the president has taught us many times. It's about you using your elbow or any other means apart from using handshaking. It says to prevent COVID-19, it is safest to avoid physical contact when greeting. Safe greeting includes a wave, a nod, or a bow. And then, should I avoid shaking hands because of the new coronavirus? Yes. Respiratory viruses can be passed by shaking hands and touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Greet people with a wave, a nod, or a bow instead. And that's how we do it. We're taking a break. Still ahead, though, doctors at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital are worried at the alarming number of young people presenting with kidney ailment. And Education Minister describes as unmatched in the 63 years since Ghana became independent the interventions made by the Kufuor-led administration in the area of education.
It's to do with the curriculum. The teacher curriculum and the pupil curriculum are now world-class.
Now, Joy News and its multimedia sister stations making up election headquarters are promising yet another comprehensive election coverage this December when Ghanaians go to the polls. At the launch of the coverage plan on Thursday, election headquarters outdoored a number of programs aimed at keeping the electorate informed. They include Just Turned 18, which seeks to elicit views of first-time voters as to what will inform their choices. The raft of programs are, however, designed to ensure every voter, young, old, the elite, as well as the regular Joe, is covered. Komladom has a recap of the launch.
What does this mean? We therefore project it is almost statistically impossible for President to achieve 50% plus one.
2016, Joy News delivered to its audiences what many describe as unrivaled election coverage. And it is not for nothing that the network has become the reference point for all things election coverage. Of course, your election headquarters. With 9 months to the December 2020 polls, Joy News is at it again, launching an elaborate coverage plan, fresh programming content, revitalized people-driven shows, and of course, a competent team. Head of Political Desk Evans Mensah speaks about some of the new shows expected to be rolled out in the coming weeks as part of the 2020 coverage.
The tracker is a very interesting one. What we found over the years is each time a government is elected and they go into government, you start putting to them the promises they've made to you when they were campaigning for your vote. And then they start making adjustments to the actual text of the promise they make to you. So I give an example. When I did an interview with Antonia Kutose, who is the Minister for
Monitoring and Evaluation.
Remember that interview? So I asked him the question about one district, one factory. And he says, listen, we never said that we'll do it ourselves. We said that private sector will do it. I checked the exact wording in the manifesto. And indeed, they said it is in partnership with the private sector. But I recall, on many political platforms, beyond what they said in the text, a lot of their folks who are campaigning have said, we will do it. For the president has said it too on platforms, that by the end of my first term, I will have one district, one factory. One district, one factory means every district, by the time you finish your first term, will have a factory. Now,
so much
3 years on, we asked the question. He says, but that's not exactly what we said. But when you go to, he refers to the text. The text is exactly that. But they've said that on a platform. So we say, this time, we're not going to hold you only to the text of your manifestos. Okay. We're also going to hold you to what you say on political platforms. Yep. So we say this year, with a tracker, which is mainly sitting on the morning show, we're going to track every promise you make, not only what you write down in the manifesto.
Building an informed electorate, the theme for this year's election headquarters, seeks to help the voter make decisions from a position of knowledge. The new show, The Verdict, will be key.
This is an in-house show. This is where journalists, among ourselves, come on a platform and look at all the campaign-related issues. This is not about the promises. This is anything. Like, for example, today we've seen in the papers an internal plot against JM, whatever it is. We will analyze it. We will pronounce a verdict on it in the end, ourselves. And there's going to be a gavel in the studio. And the host of the show will strike that gavel to deliver the verdict, what we think it is. Give me a candidate. We'll scrutinize that candidate inside out and tell you what we believe the candidate's chances are. It's our opinion, but it will be informed opinion. You are allowed to disagree with us, and that is why there's another element in there will be a significant social media polling that will feed into it. After you've heard our verdict, tell us your verdict as well. Let's see whether your verdict agrees with our verdict. It's an exciting show, but it gives you a sense of what I guess we think. We do editors forum all the time. This is a variation of that.
Two shows from the election year 2016 are back, revitalized and even more engaging. With partnership from the Star Ghana Foundation, Ballot Box will be with you. Here is Programs Director of the Foundation, Ibrahim Tanko, when he was asked why the foundation came on board this time.
They say that a good thing sells itself. Multimedia has stood out over the years in terms of the quality of its coverage of the elections, but also the provision of opportunities for people who have otherwise been excluded from the dialogue to have a say, to participate actively, in the conversations leading up to the elections. And so we didn't have any reservations at all when the issue came up as to whether we're going to continue with the support.
Ahead of the election, both the governing New Patriotic Party and the main opposition National Democratic Congress have their own pitches to win the votes of the people. But the verdict is in the hands of the voter. Here are some of the voices from Kantamanto, one of Accra's biggest markets.
He promised us to reduce the taxes. We all know that when the reduces of taxes came down, all our prices is down, so everybody will come and buy it from us. But when the prices is high, no one will come and buy. So we are pleading on the government so that it should do something about the tax. As Ghanaians, right now we are fed up because they will come today, they will say, I'll give you hay. But tomorrow it's not that. What they would promise us to offer us, they did not. But now, I don't know, this 2020, I'll just queue the line and go and vote.
You mean you'll not vote?
No, because I've had enough. Party here will come. I'll do this, I'll do. If it has market women, we are the ones supporting the economists. But nothing is decided to do for us. We are now sitting on the sun to struggle so that the government will come, tax us, AMA tickets, AMA baller, AMA lances, and nothing good is doing to us. So right now I'm fed up.
Baller, you 50 pesos.
We pay 50 pesos for clearing of the rubbish. AMA takes 1 cedi, but they do nothing. They tell us it's for selling on the land. My current situation will determine how I vote. It's been good so far because of free SHS. Even if I lose my fingers, I'll vote with my toes because of free SHS.
Why? Because
a lot of things will influence how I vote. We pay AMA taxes of 1 cedi. Trash vendors come and also take 50 pesos. But there's always rubbish here.
Concerning most of the time, say bola ba jolly oshi. They gba wona ke wo ba meni ba bo ya le ken aba fite shika konkro na ba lo bola kaya bola ba lo le kwaya.
And we pay other service providers for them to collect the rubbish. We don't understand.
Recently, I announced income tax. Ghanaian women, we are suffering. One boy, market women.
Patronage of our goods is low, and prices of goods generally have gone up.
In
December, I will vote for change. I won't tell you who.
So who are you voting for?
One policies that is going to help our businesses, our education, and everything. This current government have brought many policies about education, and we can observe and see what is going on.
Which part of it concerns you?
The free education, because right now I'm concerned about the quality of the education. Sometimes when we see when things are free, it's free of quality, you see. So the quality has a problem. But considering having everybody into the education system, you see that is a very good thing. But let's work on the quality. So John Mahama is saying that he's coming to work on the quality, whilst Audankwa is saying that he's going to continue with quality. So let's see what they bring to us as their manifesto, and it will foster our votes.
The team, as always, is poised to deliver to you unrivaled election coverage, and of course, with the most competent team on radio, television, and online on your election headquarters.
The Ghana Police Service has meanwhile assured its readiness to ensure the December 2020 polls are peaceful and without any major incidents. Director of Police Operations DCOP Saibu Gariba represented the service at the launch.
I can assure you that when we go back to history, the Ghana Police Service, assisted by security agencies, have policed elections in this country. And so far, it has been successful. And therefore, 2020 election is not different. We're going to also police that election with all the might that we have in this country. And I can assure you that going into 2020, the Ghana Police Service and the security agencies have started the planning since 2019. If you recall, the National Election Security Task Force was launched by the Inspector General of Police in August 2019, and that actually helped us to plan and execute three major elections. That was referendum 2019, the district level elections, and the unit committee elections. And they were all executed successfully. Therefore, that plan took into context the 2020 election. And I can assure you that we are on the ground. We are doing everything to police 2020 election. I will be robust, and then we'll be ruthless as far as 2020 election is concerned. What I can
We'll take a break now to bring you business news. Stay tuned in. It's time for business. And in business, the Association of All Marketing Companies, they are in no mood.
It's no, we are not doing drastic reduction.
No, okay, so they're not doing drastic, but will they do some reduction?
Some reduction, I'm sure they'll do something. You know, Gold has started something, but not everybody, and it's so insignificant. And so the issue is $33 now on the world market for crude. Why won't you come down?
We need a drastic reduction.
Exactly.
All right, we'll take it.
All right, so celebrating 25 years of joy. My name is Sandra Esinam, and I'm here for business. Now, the Association of Oil Marketing Companies says reducing petroleum product drastically, as expected by consumers, will not happen. The National Petroleum Authority has been pushing for a 15% reduction in prices, but CEO of the Association of Oil Marketing Companies, Kweku Ajimandria, says he will wish that the regulator remains quiet to avoid price predictions. So far, members of the association say they have subsidized prices to the tune of 50 million cedis and cannot continue to lose. There's more in the following report.
Although the Association of the Oil Marketing Companies, AOMC, says it appreciates concerns for reduction in fuel prices at the pumps, it cited several reasons that will make this call unattainable. Among the tons of reasons, the association says it incurred huge losses during the past year when international market prices soared, coupled with the persistent depreciation of the cedi. It added these losses were considered subsidies which the OMCs were technically gifting customers on a daily basis at retail outlets, costing them 81 million Ghana cedis per month. CEO of the Association of Oil Marketing Companies, Kweku Ajimandria.
If this trend continues, the market dynamics will make sure that there's a conformity to the price reduction, which we will see the quantum coming up. But you know, if you don't take a tomorrow when the price goes up, what are you going to do? That's why sometimes if you watch the prices, at some point it stabilizes. Even though the oil price might be going up, we don't even increase it.
Another justification for why prices cannot come down even though crude oil prices continue to drop drastically on the international markets includes flat value margin for retail marketers, which had not seen any change since March 2018. On the contrary, the OMCs and LPGMCs say they see the drastic fall in crude prices as an opportunity to recover from the huge losses.
Talking about MPA 15%, I wish you can ask the MPA boss. You know there are some parameters here which are controlled by the government, the taxes and levies. And this under the purview of, it's being supervised by MPA. Probably he knows what he's saying. If those levies and taxes are something which is going to go down, probably we can also go down. You understand what I mean? Yeah. But we feel that we have suffered enough. So now this is the time we also have to recover.
This justification has, however, left customers wondering if these same oil marketing companies will have the moral rights to review prices upwards if the narrative changes.
So the OMCs have spoken, but what does the consumer think of their justification? Fred Duho has been interacting with a public transport driver.
Sometimes I can fit buy 2.5. Before maybe I can, the whole day I can work like a 4.5. No interest, no nothing. It's affected to all the drivers because we are working, we won't get nothing now.
No, but 4.5 at least. When you take 2.5 out, you are left with 200 cedis. That is a margin.
The sales is almost 2.2 billion because 1.8 and 1.9, 2 million. So you and driver, you are driving the car, wait till you go chop, you plus your family. You understand? So you are working without nothing. We are working, we won't get nothing. Useless work now we are doing for this government.
No, but the government really have no hand in determining fuel prices.
Master, if the government stands say everybody to reduce their fuel, they will do it. Because the government is our leader. You understand me now? So the government, if they say they reduce for the new market, where markets, the government will protect everybody. Say, filling station managers where they are getting the money. We are suffer keke because we won't get nothing. Because they don't reduce the fuel. Because 1 gallon almost 25 Ghana cedis for.
All right, so it's time for showbiz, and Becky has joined me. I'm not sure which name to call you. I've been Tracy or Becky.
Oh, anything, Bex, you know. How you doing?
Here with Bex.
He will bells.
Okay, so it's about, there's been a lot of talk about COVID-19, and people are worried. The shows that are being cancelled, the football matches that are being cancelled,
yes,
all over the world.
Over the world.
And in Ghana, we don't have a case yet, even though we have cases all across
we're blessed.
Our border. So we have Togo, we have Burkina Faso, we have Cote d'Ivoire.
Yeah. And Trigmatic is saying that we should be prepared for anything. He thinks that...
it's just a matter of time?
Well, you might never know. So just be prepared. Make sure you wash your hands. Don't touch your face. You know, basically that's what he's been, you know, talking about with us here.
The most important thing is at least care about it. How do you start caring? By gathering information about the virus itself, how you can contract it, how you can control and take it serious. People, I can see people have, you know, joking about it, making jokes, not taking it as serious as they should. But hey, gather enough information about it so you know what to do at what time. Wash your hands a lot of times before you touch your eyes, your nose, your mouth. Be careful when you're getting in contact with people. When you're in a space where it's crowded and people are sneezing and all that, make sure you're covering, you know, your nasal area. Just be careful. It can happen to anybody, so we just need to be careful. And I think that also our borders should be tightened a bit more. But issues with diseases and viral diseases, for that matter, sometimes is difficult to curb. So please, we shouldn't take it lightly at all.
It's that time for our Clean Ghana campaign story, and it's the kind of story that you would need the stomach for. What would you do if you were told that your favorite butcher slaughters his meat in a cocktail of mud, liquid waste, and blood? Well, maybe the real question should be, how would you know? The Joy Clean Ghana campaign on Thursday arrested a man who had left 3 lifeless sheep in that solution, ready to be sold for public consumption, when they visited Old Fadama, a suburb of Agbogboshi. Nancy Dozie has more, and viewers are warned the visuals could be disturbing.
As the team walked through one of Accra's biggest slums, one could not help but see a lot of women preparing their meals under very unhygienic conditions. The one that caught the eye of Environmental Officer Madam Florence Kuchi was one of them selling wasa wasa, a popular protein meal.
Pacho, good afternoon. Edison, Pacho Brakakra.
The beans, oil, and other ingredients were on the bare floor. She also did not have a health certificate.
What do you want? Wasa wasa. Ewo pete musa. Wahu oil no. Wahu se ni efi wo egu oil no mu. Sa fina we hu oil no mu. The same fina na wasa ya wo akoton ama amanfo no. Hwe beans. We bie beans ni nyina egu honom. Chaka. Oti ase se ne we bie niema ni nyina egu ho chaka no. Ne edi kan hu ni apomodin krata. Eduane so awoton no we bie ni nyina egu ho chaka. Nti sa eduane we ya ma wonton e ma amanfo.
After admitting she was at fault, the officer seized her words.
You people should carry this food away. carry this food, the beans, and then the, what do you call it, the spaghetti in the container. Take those food away. So they are carrying it to the car. So who is taking it? Somebody should help him take it to the car.
But as we walked through the slums, the officers were tempted to visit each home as there were cringe-worthy scenes everywhere.
You can push open. We can.
At a nameless public toilet with no operators, because they had absconded when they heard the team was there, the task force broke into the facility, except the pungent smell was too much to bear.
Yeah, I'm not going.
But those that came back said what they saw suggested the outlawed pan latrine system was in use.
All this will end up in our lagoons. And now the rains are coming. If we don't take time to ensure that we close down all these pan latrines, before you realize we have cholera and it's commercial. So imagine 42 is here. So it's about 20-something seater here.
We need a carpenter.
We had hints that 2 other public toilets were practicing similar systems. We later found a man standing by 3 lifeless sheep with his face covered. One of the sheep had half of its part burnt. They appeared to have just been slaughtered in this cocktail of mud, rubbish, and blood.
Debia ya ka sha mu se ma mu fa ties en fa stinge nam nso debia eno na mo behwe nti masa sa nam na wo de ties aye no ya ma wo fa nko so obekwa akofre nam wura ma na aba ha enam no ye season sisi a ya fa nam no ma wo fa nko. Where are the task force? Please carry this and go and put it in the car.
This time, Madam Florence Kuchi asked that the man be handcuffed and taken to the police station.
Those who are working there,
you listen. We are arresting you.
Those who are working there, we've not gotten to them.
Yes.
We've gotten to this guy,
So
and we are going to
should
arrest
lead
him
us
right
to the
now for using car ties to sink this. After which, there's no veterinary officer who will.
People carry it and go and put it in the car and put it to Simon.
Madam.
Take him to the car.
I think you do it back way so that he cannot. The front is okay.
Please carry it to the car. The guys, where are they? When you go, let him sit in the car.
You see, the smoke is too much.
Yes, he tie his nose.
Who are living here.
Look at the people living all around this place.
The carcass were also taken away. We were then taken to a pipe connected into a gutter leading to the lagoon.
Human excreta, when they flash, it just comes straight. It doesn't been treated. It doesn't settle anywhere. So it just comes straight and goes straight into the lagoon.
After following the pipes to the source, we saw a huge heap of mud.
Maybe they have a defective septic tank and they wanted to construct a new one. The best thing they should have done is to close down the toilet facility. They should not operate the toilet facility and then construct the chamber. But since they have decided to connect the toilet straight into the sea.
The operator admitted he knew about the pipes, much to the annoyance of Madam Florence Kuchi.
We saw a tube. We have traced the tube to your place. Why have you decided to lay that tube into the sea? Mr. John, Madam. Why have you decided to lay the tube into the sea?
The PVC pipe into the sea.
And you connect the raw excreta into the sea. Why?
I can't confirm until those who dig it.
Where is the police officer?
Who dig it?
Where is it?
Is the toilet not for you and you are talking of those who dig it? You
That,
contracted them to dig it.
Let me tell you something. Do you know, excuse me, do you know what you are doing? You are causing the lives of people as well as the life of marine. Yes. Do you know that? Yes. And you know it's illegal to do that. And you've done that. So when we arrest you, we are not doing anything wrong. Yes. Okay, so police officer, please get him for us. Please arrest him. So we are arresting this man for connecting the PVC pipe into the sea raw excreta.
The cop placed the cuffs on him and took him away. At one other public toilet, there was a near scuffle as the operator resisted attempts to shut it down. But Madam Kuchi, despite the intimidation, will not budge and brought in a carpenter to board it off.
I told your brother to be taking video of all what he takes pictures.
The team has indicated it will certainly return to Old Fadama City, as it is popularly known.
People should be on the watch. The train is moving. Chokotaka, chokotaka, chokotaka. You don't know where it will land.
The power of a human-centered piece of journalism. That is the story of Yaya Panjit, a visually impaired old woman in the northeast region town of Nakmanduri, who says she's never slept on a mattress. The story has triggered an outpour of love from across the globe, with hundreds of people trooping to the Joy News offices here in Accra to offer assistance. My colleague Justice Bedu has been following the impact the story is making and put together this report.
In the heart of Sambonan, a community in the northeast region, is Yaya Panjit, an old lady.
What a difference one story could make. This is the 5-minute video piece of Yaya Panjit, told, as always, in a typical Joy News style. Humane, crisp, in a touching piece of journalism.
Yaya lost her husband and recounts everything took a downward turn.
The result has been immediate and overwhelming.
This story has currently gone beyond 225,000 views on our Facebook page alone, which means that over 225,000 people have watched this story, way over the average views that our everyday videos would have.
Inside the Joy News newsroom in Kokomlemle, Jojo Kobina, our multimedia journalist behind the story, hard at work.
30 cedis. Okay, thank you.
I first asked him how he came by this story.
On our way from Nakpanduri to Accra, we gave a lift to a young lady who attended a festival that we went to cover. So on our way, the young lady told us that there was this old lady who is blind, lives all by herself, and cooks by herself. So I was intrigued. Oh, like no one takes care of her. So we decided to take a detour to that community to find out the truth in what she was saying, and we found Yaya Panjit, and the rest is what you saw on TV. Oh, Benes Chineboa, okay.
They said they were
sent by this lady. Okay, so so that's the. And that's okay. So these are detergents. Oh, okay. As I speak, my phone is on just 7% because many people keep calling to make inquiries how they can help. Some people needing directions to where the woman is, they want to go there personally. Some to how to donate, and so we give them the numbers to donate to, and then others just to share their, emotions, to tell us how they're feeling when they saw the stories. Next week now, I have had people call and cry and lament and talk about how they feel very privileged and how they feel very ungrateful. They have been ungrateful to God for all the goodies that they have enjoyed in their lives, and so they are so touched that they want to give money, and some have donated, some just decided that they're going to even empty their MTN wallets. 1,000, 500, and then we have 500s, we have 300s, we have 50 Ghana cedis, we have 100, we have monies coming in, and so many people are supporting the old lady.
Yahya isn't alone, as showed in the story.
This is massive.
Hundreds of thousands of Ghana's poorest of the poor are still not catered for by the Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty (LEAP) program, the country's lifeline policy for the most needy.
What we are trying to do is to get an account for her where the money goes to sit in, get a caretaker who would be taking care of her, someone who will be withdrawing the money, someone we can monitor, so that we make sure that the monies that people have contributed is not spent by someone else, so the old lady would enjoy the rest of her life on earth.
Madam Panjit only asked for a mattress, but it seems from what we've seen that she would end up with so much more than that. Justice Beidou, Joy News in Accra.
And I was particularly touched when the staff from MPA came to the office today and presented their donation. Essentially, they just put money together in the office. They just came together and decided that we're going to support this old lady. Moving on, doctors at the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital are concerned about the increasing number of young people developing kidney ailments. They say children as young as 5 are now being subjected to weekly sessions of dialysis in order to survive. As Ghana joins the rest of the world to observe Kidney Day, we put the spotlight on some lifestyle habits said to be accounting for the increasing cases of the condition. Consumption of herbal concoctions are also said to be a major contributory factor. Matilda Gavi of our Health Desk has more.
Sounds from dialysis machines here at the renal unit of the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital. 36-year-old Mary, not her real name, is one of 10 patients lying on beds, quietly going through dialysis session. When a person is diagnosed with chronic kidney failure due to damage or disease to the kidney, the dialysis is used to remove waste and unwanted water from the blood of the patient whose kidneys are not functioning adequately. This is Mary's first session for the week. She needs at least 2 sessions a week to survive. It's been 2.5 years of a life-troubling situation for Mary, her family, and even her career.
I was having consistent high blood pressure and protein in my urine. It's been very difficult, and unfortunately here in Ghana, some other patients are more fortunate. Someone like me, it has even cost me my job because of the long wait. At a point in time, my employers were like, my absence at work is affecting the job, so they had to lay me off. So it's a bit of a challenge. Some employers will understand, others won't, because you can see you spend a lot of hours, sometimes 24 hours, just to get treatment.
Diabetes and hypertension are the most common causes of kidney disease. However, some causes are unknown. Dr. Mensa Amoa, a physician specialist with the renal unit of the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital, is worried about the number of cases brought to his table on a daily basis. He says children as young as 5 now survive on a dialysis machine.
So if you've had patients as young as 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, 10, but these tend to be more of what we call the acute kidney failures. But they tend to be more of the acute. Acute means that some other sudden illness, maybe severe malaria or severe diarrhea, some severe infection might have caused it. Most of these tend to recover. And then we have others mostly between 20 and 40 years. That's the peak of most of the patients that we see.
Aren't you worried as a health professional having to deal with these cases on a daily basis?
It's very worrying. Sometimes you can even say it's depressing. But we try to do our best within the limited resources that we have to provide some care to those who need it.
What must I do to stay safe?
So we'll still go back to the basis of how these things come about. So most of them is hypertension. And most of these are related to our lifestyle activities these days. So we'll encourage general good healthy living, which include eating a healthy balanced diet. So cutting off salt intake, reducing our salt intake. We need to exercise frequently to keep our bodies in shape, to keep our heart working well, to lose weight if you are obese. and then drinking a lot of water, and then avoiding risky life behaviors like smoking, alcoholism, and then taking all those preparations that are over the place.
A patient needs at least 300 cedis for a session on the dialysis machine. Some patients are unable to afford it. For now, doctors are making a case for part of the treatment for kidney disease to be included on the National Health Insurance Scheme.
There's a lot of advocacy on that to pursue that option, but it's not been approved yet. But we are hoping that, looking at what the situation that's going on, the government and various stakeholders should consider adding at least, even if not all of the sessions, at least some of it, to show that some of these patients to go through these treatments.
World Kidney Day, which is commemorated globally, is to raise awareness about the kidney diseases and also promote activities that would ensure healthy kidneys. For Joy News, Matilda Gavi, Accra.
Education Minister Dr. Matthew Poku-Prempeh has described as unmatched in the 63 years since Ghana became independent the interventions made by the Kufuor-led administration in education. The administration, he adds, will also deliver on its promise of quality learning across all levels in the sector. Dr. Prempeh said this when he addressed directors of education from across the country at the Independence Square, where some 365 Isuzu pickup trucks were distributed by Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Latif Idris was there and has come through with the following report.
In the last 3 years, the nations have witnessed a complete transformation of our educational sector. If it's to do with infrastructure, we can boldly say, since independence, no government has put in place the infrastructure development that education is witnessing in the last 3 years. If it's to do with the comprehensive teacher policy, I know it's difficult, but even to acknowledge that we need a comprehensive teacher policy to guide us in recruiting, training, promotion, and service of the teacher is fundamental. If it's to do with the curriculum, the teacher curriculum and the pupil curriculum are now world-class. And if it's to do with service delivery, this is one of the things that the government is doing that we are assembled here this morning.
The distribution is starting with some 365 Isuzu double-decker vehicles. This, according to the Vice President who kick-started the distribution here at the Independence Square, said this is in fulfillment of government promise to adequately resource the educational sector to ensure proper teaching and learning takes place from the basic to the second cycle institutions.
Today, I'm honored to be here to hand over a number of vehicles for our education sector on behalf of the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, in fulfillment of his commitment to ensure that the education sector is adequately resourced to deliver improved learning outcomes in this country. So we have a number of vehicles. First, today, we are handing over 365 Isuzu double cabin pickup trucks. 365. This is even more than the ambulances we gave out recently. 260 of these are being allocated to all metropolitan, municipal, and district education officers to support their management and supervision roles. The remaining 105 will be distributed to the Ministry of Education and its various agencies to enhance their work.
To facilitate the work of the circuit supervisors across the district, government has also purchased some 2,000 motor bicycles to be distributed across the districts. The Vice President says this is to make the work of the circuit supervisors easy and also facilitate teaching and learning at the various levels.
We have procured an additional 2,000 motorbikes have been procured to aid the work of circuit supervisors and to further enhance their supervisory roles in the education sector. 2,000 motorbikes. Today, out of the 2,000 motorbikes, the first batch of 493 will be handed over. By the end of April, the other batch should be in. But the 493, this first batch will go to about 7 regions out of the 16. And then the rest, when they come in, which will be about 1,500 in number, will go to the remaining regions.
Trade and Industry Minister Alan Chairman-Ting has told Parliament he cannot provide to the House the list of companies that have benefited from incentives under the One District, One Factory program. The minister says 1.7 billion Ghana cedis have been disbursed to 172 companies over the last 3 years.
Who are the beneficiaries? Mr. Speaker, if the Honourable Member may respectfully read carefully the text of the answer provided, you will realize that the Ministry of Trade has provided support to the 172 companies in collaboration with participating financial institutions. Now, the participating financial institutions have a fiduciary relationship with the loan beneficiaries for which interest subsidies or counterpart financing has been provided. So, Right Honourable Speaker, against this background, I am not authorized to speak on behalf of the financial institutions who have provided the funding to the beneficiary companies.
Gumbungu MP Ras Mubarak, who asked the question on the floor of Parliament, says he's disappointed the minister did not give the details. He says the figures have been padded. Government has invested some 200 million Ghana cedis for the purchase of 12 million energy-saving bulbs to be distributed across the country. The lamps, which will be distributed for free to homes and selected public institutions, is expected to encourage a shift from the use of high energy-consuming incandescent bulbs to the energy-saving ones. Announcing the intervention Thursday afternoon at the Energy Ministry, Sector Minister John Peter Meu said the policy will, in the long run, put money in the pockets of beneficiaries.
So demand side management is what we are undertaking. So the distribution, as I've stated, will be 50,000 to the Metropolitan Assembly, 40,000 to the Municipal Assembly, and 30,000 each for all the District Assembly. There are various wattage of this bulb, and it includes 6 watts, 9 watts, and 13 watts. So collectively, these watts will be lumped together to the District Assembly. Ladies and gentlemen, the LED bulbs, as you are all aware, it's very efficient and cost reflective in terms of the consumption. Estimates have put the consumption at almost between 30 to 40%, half the price of the incandescent demand. What that means is that with the well-spread and usage of this LED, we expect our customers to pay less in terms of their energy consumption.
DC for Nodai Kujo Atta said the intervention will also help to eliminate robberies in the nooks and crannies of the country that are poorly lit.
Your constituents?
It's a two-pronged affair. But the first one directly, as you have said, one is going to light up the whole constituency, the whole district, to the extent that we are going to have a situation where every pole in the district, whether it is in the village, it's in the suburb, wherever, they will all have light. You know the attendant positive effects that will come with it, where we are going to reduce theft cases and all that. So those things are there, where schools will now have lights all through, whether it's basic school, secondary school, or whatsoever. But beyond that, the target actually is to help the consumer. And that's what we are looking at. You know, this issue is about supply and demand. Government, with this exercise, is targeting the demand aspect, which is the consumer. Because day in, day out, we have realized that the bills are going up here and then. Government is thinking to what do we do so that we help the consumer. And if you are going to use the energy 7 bond, of which the bill will reduce, then ultimately we are going to pay a lesser bill. And that's the essence of all this.
And the minister mentioned that they are going to put money in the pockets of the consumers.
Precisely. Indirectly, because if you were paying 600 Ghana cedis, for example, a month, this is 50% reduction. So we are going to pay half.
The distribution of the lamps are expected to start in the coming days. We're taking a break here now to bring you more business. Stay tuned in.
Time now to do more business news. The Auditor General Daniel Domelovo has charged accountants to lead the fight against corruption through more diligent and transparent auditing of accounts. The Auditor General made this call in an interview with Joy Business on the sidelines of the 2020 induction ceremony of the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana in Accra.
According to a report by the United Nations Development Programme, corruption is costing Ghana's economy 13.5 billion cedis annually. The menace also cost the global economy $3.6 billion, a sum estimated to be about 5% of the global gross domestic product. According to the Auditor General Daniel Domelovo, accountants have a key role in curbing the corruption in both the public and the private sectors through the transparent and diligent audit of accounts.
The antidotes of corruption include transparency and accountability. That is, people knowing how their money was used, what they use it for, who is the beneficiary, etc. And this is done by producing financial statements so to let or to inform the public. If this is not done professionally, if this is not done according to standards and is not done regularly, what happens is that people take advantage of non-existence of transparency and accountability, and they use public funds. So when you produce this information and people are being held accountable, it deters other people from similar behaviors. And accountants are best placed to do this.
The Auditor General made a call when he spoke at the first 2020 induction ceremony at the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana in Accra. President of the Institute urged accountants to be guided by best practices to aid the fight against corruption.
In fighting corruption, all boils down to going or abiding the regulations we have in the accounting profession. If you go by the ethics, the standards, and in line with everything you do as an accountant, I think the corruption itself will come out. It's not something you are going to hunt for like hunters, but you go for an audit and use the principles of auditing. Any error or any fraud will come out by itself.
For Joy Business, Shilata Maklu reporting.
Export and Import Bank is collaborating with some banks to facilitate lending to businesses that need funding but may not have adequate collateral. CEO of the Exim Bank disclosed this during a workshop on credit guarantees with some banks in Accra. There's more in the following report.
The Ghana Exim Bank is mandated to provide support for trade between Ghana and other countries, as well as facilitate credit to exporters through credit guarantee issuance. According to the CEO of the bank, Lawrence Ejinsam, it has in recent times also supported funding of 1D1F projects and other private sector businesses. Despite these interventions, the CEO noted that access to credit by businesses, especially SMEs, continue to remain a challenge. According to him, the Ghana Exim Bank will be collaborating with some selected banks to help de-risk lending to small businesses.
Exim Bank wants to collaborate with the banks to be able to support them. Because if they don't have guarantee or collateral, the banks will not approve the loans for them. So what we are saying is that at the back of those customers, we more or less will provide a guarantee for them to be able to. In that way, a lot more of the SMEs will come into the fold of they having access to finance.
The CEO disclosed this during a workshop with the selected banks. He explained that credit guarantee will be largely used to help the businesses with acquisition of equipment.
Most of the monies go into purchase of equipment because we are not a country that produces these equipment. So if we're working with any of these Exim banks across the world, then they are also exporting their services or products to us. So, for instance, if you want to buy a hatchery or a processing of poultry machine from the US, this facility will then be used. And we will undertake to do the risk assessment and make sure we share that risk assessment with the US Exim. When they approve, that will allow you to be able to purchase any equipment from the US. You pay 15% to us as down payment, and the US Exim would then also guarantee to JP Morgan of the 85%. And it is this we want the banks to be aware so that they can apply to us or refer clients to us. Or we can also refer clients to them.
For Joy Business, Shileta Maklo reporting.
In other news tonight, loans that banks fear will not be paid on time have reduced marginally by 5% to hit 6.3 billion cedis as of December 2019. This was contained in the 2019 banking sector report. But what would be the implications of this on the cost of credit going forward? George Yafi has more in this report.
Bank of Ghana in the latest banking sector report attributed the decline to a combination of loan recoveries and write-offs. This development helped non-performing loans to go down. In terms of composition, the private sector accounted for more than 90% of the loan that was given out, and the remaining going to the public sector. In terms of ratios, the non-performing loans also declined from 18.2% to 13.9%. And in December 2000, the report may come across as good news for businesses that had in the past complained about access to credit. Now, this is because an improved non-performing loans could help deal with the credit delivery challenges in the country and also issues of access to credit as well. The Bank of Ghana in the report also noted that a strong pickup in credit was as a result of a reduction in loans that the banks fear would go bad. Now, if this trend should continue, as well as a stabilized economy, then the cost of credit could also reduce significantly in the coming month. The governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Alderson, recently noted that they will be working with the judiciary to look at how loan cases before the courts can be fast-tracked as well. All these, they believe, that could help reduce interest rates in the country.
Now, crude oil prices continue to drop drastically on the world market. The market price today was $33.03 a barrel. Details in the commodity news. And that will be all for business tonight. My name is Sandra Isinam. And for more news, log on to our website, myjoyonline.com/business. And do remember to catch the PM Express Business Edition with Philip Namfuri tonight. It's at 9 p.m. on the Joy News channel and also on channel 421 on DSTV. We have sports news up next. Thanks so much for watching.
Thank you for staying with us on the Joy News Prime. I'm Gary Al Smith with the sport. Quickly, we started at Accra Sports Stadium where Asante Kotoko are hosting Elmina Sharks in the Ghana Premier League. And currently, this is what it looks like. So, we earlier saw Inter Allies beat Liberty Professionals by 3-2. And at the moment, it's Asante Kotoko who are drawing 0-0 with Elmina Sharks. In keeping with the updates on the coronavirus, it's giving a lot of problems to the sporting economy worldwide. La Liga has been suspended and Real Madrid's training ground has been on lockdown. We'll bring that story later. Meanwhile, Austria-based Samuel Tete is speaking on how the disease is affecting football. Don't forget that he's playing in the Europa League against Manchester United.
Well, it's a shame to play behind closed doors
without the fans, but of course we are still focused on the game because it still remains a highlight to play against Manchester United with or without the fans. And yeah, it's just sad for the fans who already bought tickets for the game, but yeah, that is the situation at hand now, and yeah, nothing can be done. And I would say it's also affecting the beauty of the game because some games are playing behind closed doors, some games have been cancelled, and everybody loves football. And now, as I said earlier, this is the situation at hand, and we just need to accept that, and we'll see how it goes. And yeah, also I have friends and my family members calling me to take care of myself, and yeah, this is normal, so we'll see how it goes.
Sport, but before I go, the 2020 U-Park Basketball Championships are on. Yausechi was here last week to talk about launching it and what the schedule was going to be like. Highlight of day one's contest is now.
I am not regular if you check my cellular. I am not regular if you check my cellular. It go push your medulla. I have got the formula. I am not regular if you check my cellular. It go push your medulla. I have got the formula. You are not an option. So what you say? I can't delay. I feel okay. I'm on my way. Check the pulse. Feel the pulse. 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 Feel the pulse. Check the pulse. Feel the pulse. Check the pulse.
I really appreciate U-Park officials for giving us this opportunity. It hasn't been this easy, but we really appreciate what they did. And shout outs to my boys. They really did a great job. Thank them so much.
Yeah, it was team discipline that got us there. Yeah, so we just stick to instructions and we did as we were told, or as the boys were instructed to do, and that was it. Notice we had some few lapses, yeah, and so we're going to work on those lapses and then we come back. Like I told you already at the press conference that we are here to wrestle the title away from UG. We respect them, but we are there to wrestle it from them.
So U-Park is the Universities and Polytechnics Association basketball games, and that's what we are seeing. We'll be covering it as we are the official partner of the event all the way until the grand finale. Thank you for your time. I'm Gary Al Smith, and that is the sport for now.
Welcome to Joy News Interactive, and today we launched our coverage of the 2020 elections here at the election headquarters. And as part of the series of programs that we have lined up, we're going to be educating you and informing you and bringing you up to speed with some of the things that you need to know ahead of the elections. And some of the things we're going to do is to bring you some of these messages. And we have this one. Did you know the MPP and PCP formed the Great Alliance to defeat the NDC in the 1996 elections? So there it goes. All right, so just trying to bring, all right, what did I do? I just messed up all together. Now I need to bring it back. Let me see. Okay. So All right, so let me go to the comments now. Very sorry about that. So we have Dawn says, I wonder how the so-called educated read without looking into the grammatical aspect of the statement that they're commenting and end up insulting. Are we educated to insult or to... All right, let's get to some more. And okay, but you can, yes, you can go there and get to, okay, so there's some misunderstanding. People are thinking that, well, they formed the alliance, the two formed the alliance, but it did not win them the election. It was only in 2000 that they won. So that's some correction that people are pointing out, and it's important. But let's also go through some of the coverage that we put together for the day, for the launch. So this is how we brought you the coverage. We have some of the directors who were working behind the scenes as the program was ongoing. Ibrahim comes in and says, I enjoyed your coverage 2012 and 2016. I hope for more this year, certainly. And Imochi says, good work. Thank you very much. And then from the launch of election headquarters, this was a photo we took with the Bank of Africa management team that came over to serve as breakfast. We're thankful to them. And to all the people who showed up, we say thank you for coming to join us for the launch of election headquarters. And that'll be all for Join Us Interactive. And that'll be all for the bulletin. I'm Israel. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good night.